Hey you guys, how are you? How are you? How are you? So listen, I am coming on today to say happy end of the year, happy new year, happy whenever you guys hear this. All right. For those of you all who are just joining, thank you so much for being a part of this community. Nonprofit Nuggets with Jennifer Yarbrough is a dream of mine to be able to share with you tools and systems and strategies to really take your organization to the next level. For those of you that follow me on my other platforms, TikTok, YouTube, IG. I just want you to know that I am really excited to for your journey of impact, for your journey of success, for your journey of really changing and impacting and affecting your community in a very real way. For those of you all who are new to me, I've been doing this work now for going on 39 years. I started as an intern and I learned. I was taught, and I was shown how to do the work of grant writing, fundraising, and really generating the revenue needed to operate our nonprofit organizations. Today, I want to talk to you about resources. I want to talk to you about your 990, and I want to talk to you about your budget. There's a lot of people that say start your nonprofit and start it out with your paperwork. Start your nonprofit by filing the paperwork. And I'm going to tell you why that's not the case. When you are filing your paperwork, going over and filling out the 1023 form, which is the form through the IRS that gives you the designation, right? The 501c3 is a IRS designation that categorizes your business as a not for profit. All right. So the 1023 form is a form that you are applying to the IRS to be recognized, to be designated, categorized as a tax exempt business. Okay. So your business, your LLC, your corporation is designated 501c3. All right. So the 501c3 is a designation. It is not a model of business in that it is not the program, but it is the designation. That's what you are being recognized as, is a tax exempt business. The nonprofit is a category, right? There are two categories of business: for profit, nonprofit. So when someone says, Jen, I want to start my nonprofit, let me start by designating my business as nonprofit by filling out or completing the 1023 form. That's technically not starting. That's being recognized as. That is asking the IRS to designate your business as a nonprofit. That's not technically starting the nonprofit. That is filing for the designation. Now, let me say this, okay? There is so much misinformation out there that I just can't even keep up. But just follow me for a moment and I hope to clear this up for you. All right. So you now are recognizing that, or you're asking the IRS to recognize your business, not your program. Your program does not have the designation of 501c3. Your program does not have the designation of 501c3. I'm going to say it one more time. Your program does not have the recognition or the designation of a 501c3. Your business has the recognition of a 501c3, right? So for many of you that are starting your nonprofit and you think starting your nonprofit is starting the program, that is not the case. You are through the filing and the of the 1023 form. You are stating that the nonprofit business, all right, two categories of business: for profit, nonprofit, is what's being recognized as the non for profit, right? So the nonprofit has the name of the organization, the nonprofit has the mission. The nonprofit is what does the marketing, the fundraising, the budgeting, right? The revenue generating activities, and having those systems within the business to do that. Your donors and your funders are giving their resource to the business, not the program. And so this is where and why I think that there is such a huge misunderstanding of why your nonprofit is stuck. It is not because you are a nonprofit, right? Or a business that is designated tax exempt. Both business models have multiple streams of revenue. Both streams or both models of business have multiple streams of revenue. In the not for profit, you have a minimum of 8. There's about 14, but you have a minimum of 8 streams of revenue. 8 streams of revenue. In the for profit, you have multiple streams of revenue, right? You have eyeglasses, you have contacts, you have exams, you have solutions, you have cleaners, you have wipes, you have cases, okay? You have coffee, you have tea, you have muffins, you have smoothies, you have juice. You have hamburgers, you have cheeseburgers, you have fish, you have chicken, you have fries, you have desserts, multiple ways to generate revenue so that the business can operate. Okay. In the nonprofit space, you have a minimum of 8 streams of revenue. What are those streams of revenue, Jen? You have individuals. These are your regular donors, your monthly donors, your major donors, your annual donors, your regular donors. You have businesses and corporations, okay? You have events. Now, what makes these events successful? What is it that enables the organization to generate the goals of the fundraiser, all right, or the event? The people. The people that attend, the people that buy tickets, the people that sponsor, right? The people that support the auctions, people. So even after that event, you should have a plan and a strategy to cultivate, to connect with, to communicate those people that attended that event to become regular ongoing supporters. That's system. Okay, you have in kind, you have grants. Now, grants are great, honey. Grants are great. However, grants cannot fund 100% of your organization's expenses. Y'all have heard me say this before. I know you have, but don't go back. I'm going to say it again so you don't have to go back and scroll through all the videos. All right, I'm going to say it again. Grants cannot fund 100% of your expenses. Think about this. 38 years ago, I've been in this business a long time. There were not as many nonprofit organizations as there are today. The number of grant funders has not kept pace with the number of organizations. So what does that mean? That means not all of these grant applications are going to get funded. Why? There are more organizations seeking grant dollars than there are funds available through the funders to give the grant dollars. So not everybody's going to get 100%, right? You might get 27% from grants, okay? Which is okay. Why? Because you have 7 other minimum other streams of revenue, all right? So grants are great, but while you're waiting on that grant application to be approved, okay, that could take 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months more. While you are waiting for that grant application to be approved, you've got 7 other streams of revenue. All right. So you got program fees, products and services, and partnerships and collaborations. Again, there are more than 8, but I use 8 because it's easy to remember. All right. You have 8 streams of revenue. You technically have 14, but we're going to stick to 8 because I want you all to be busy doing those 8. Okay. Here we go. This is the thing. That when you are starting your business, I want you to put business in the chat. Put business in the chat. You've got to know the business, not the program. Why? Because the program is not what you started. You started a business whose product, whose value is to affect, to change, to improve, and to provide a result in your community. You started a business for result. You started a business for impact. You started a business for outcome. And your program is what helps you to achieve that end. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back and in the bushes. When you decide to start a nonprofit, you are starting a business whose result, whose program result, whose impact, need met, solution presented to the community as a benefit to the community. That's your business. Your business is not doing program. Your business is result. Your business is outcome. Your business is impact. And that is shown and proved and accomplished through your program. Now, what's a program, Jen? A program is a group of activities that are strategically designed to produce a result. Your program is proof that your business is doing its work, right? Not the activities of what you do, but the result that comes from those activities, right? The activities produce result that validates the value of your business. We are in the business of result. We're not in the business of program activities. We're not in the business of your passion. We're not in business of what you want to do. You have to know how to do it. You know what? I thought about this. We're all very intelligent, right? Many of us have several degrees. Many of us have life experience. Many of us have great achievements, right? Many of us are intelligent people and we can figure it out, right? Many of us are accomplished. We are acclaimed. Many of us are driven. Many of us have lots of goals and are visionaries. Nothing wrong with that. However, if I right now go and get a job at a restaurant or as a barista, somebody is going to have to show me how to do that job. Somebody's going to have to show me how to do that job. They're going to say, "Listen, you might have worked at that establishment down the road, but we're going to show you how it's done here. You can't just walk into some job and decide, you know what, I want to do this job, so just give me the keys, give me the apron, and let me do this job." No, somebody has to show you how to do this job. Now, this is what I believe with everything in me, and I'm open to your comments. I'm open to you putting in the comments if you agree with me or not, okay? That many of you are starting a whole business. I said it was a business. When I start my nonprofit, Jen, it's a business. Many of you are starting your nonprofit without knowing the job. Jen, I don't know how to put together a board. Jen, I don't know how to put together a budget. Jen, I don't know where board members come from. Jen, no, I don't have a fundraising plan. Jen, I don't know how to find donors. Jen, I don't know how to get funding. Jen, I'm funding everything out of my own pocket. So basically, we started a business that we didn't know how to run. Why did we do that? I believe that it's because many of you thought that starting your nonprofit meant I'm starting my program because you're very clear about the program, right? You're very passionate. You're very into the details of the program and why you're starting it and why it's important and who you want to serve. And, you really can bring conversation around the program, but that's not what you started. You didn't start a program. You started a business. The business is where the funding comes in. The business is where transparency with your donors, your funders, your partners, your collaborators, the people who are not in what you do, having the ability, having the capacity, having the skill set, having the knowledge to communicate, to reach, to identify, to clarify, to educate and inspire those people that are not in the business to support your work. That's where everything breaks down. Jen, I don't know what to say. Jen, I don't know how to say it. Jen, I don't know where to start in generating money. But that's what you started was a business that has to generate money. Now, we're not even talking about profit. We're talking about just the amount of money needed to operate. That means operations and program. Many of you don't know how much of the dollar goes to operations. It's up to 35%. Or up to 35 cents out of every dollar, okay? But it's generally around 33% or 33 cents, okay? 33 cents out of every dollar goes to operations. The remainder, 70 or 67 cents, goes to program, all right? Now, y'all understand program. Did I need a building? Did I need a bus? Did I need equipment? Did I need materials? Did I need supplies? Did I need a program coordinator? Did I need space to run the program? But what we've omitted is the operation. This is your marketing. This is your branding. This is your fundraising. This is your accounting. This is your budgeting. This is your community development work. Why? Because our resource comes from the community. Now, let me put a little pin right there. That is not unlike any business. Every business gets its support from the community. Our customers come into the business from the community, right? So we're like any business. We need our community support. But the community is not in this program. The community is not the ones that have the need that you are addressing. And I believe that many of you are pulled by your desire to do the program, but you have no knowledge or experience, or in most cases, interest in running the business, which is why the business does not have the revenue to operate. All right? We're not talking about profit. We're not even talking about money. We're talking about value. Every business has to have a product of value. Every business has to have a product of value. Every business has to have a product of value. That means you have to know, what does your community, i.e. your customer or your donor, your funders, what do they value? What do they know about your program? What do they know about the problem that you're meeting? What do they know about the need or the solution that your organization is bringing into the community? Because that's what they're placing their basis of support on. How do they come to know about those things? Through your articulation of mission, through your clarification of purpose. Those are two different things, by the way. Your vision. Now, some of those of you who are, so inclined to be religious, right? And you go with the God said. Now, I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm just talking to a certain audience right now. For those of you that say God said, write the vision, make it plain. I'm just trying to help you make it plain. All right. He does not say muddle your way through trying to figure it out. No, know what the vision is. What is the vision? The vision is, this is the solution. This is the problem that we're solving, and we are the solution. This is how we're going to solve the problem. This is what it's going to look like when the individuals come out of our program. This is what it's going to cost. This is how we're going to market. This is how we're going to brand. This is how we're going to budget for us to be able to accomplish this work. It is not random. It is business. To you, it may be passion, but no one's funding your passion. Do you mind if I tell you the truth? No one's funding your passion. No one's funding your passion. No one's funding your passion. When you are wanting others outside of your organization to consider investing their money, what is the return on that investment? Impact, result, right? So you've got to be able to articulate that. You've got to be able to tell the story of that. You've got to be able to describe that. That's business. That's business. That's not passion, and that's not program activity. I just want us to not go into another season not being clear about what we started. This work is so important. Our vision, our mission, our ability, our capability, our knowledge to build and secure and steward the trust of those that would invest in what we do is so important. That means you've got to be able to reach, communicate, and articulate to those that are not in it why their investment in what we do is important to them. They're not in our programs, right? They're not in our programs, but you're asking them to entrust. You're asking them to be confident in the ability of this organization to do an important work, not your passion. You are starting a business that has a very valuable product. Your mission matters. Did you hear what I said? Your mission matters. Let me say it one more time. Your mission matters. It matters more to others, not just you, right? You're not the only one that's passionate by your mission. Help others to become impassioned by your mission. How do you do that? Communicating the need that you're solving, right? Understand the impact that your organization is presenting, sharing the value of your work, not just to the people who are in your program, but to the people that wouldn't also support it, right? What industries, which areas of community would best receive the result of the work that you do? That's the partnership, that's the collaboration, that's the importance of our work. We come into the communities to do the work that businesses cannot do, that for-profit businesses cannot do, rather, or government cannot do, right? Our work is important in our communities, but you've got to be able to share that, to show that, to market that, to communicate that, to even educate about that, right? Your donors, your funders, your supporters are not in the situation and circumstances of the people that are in your program. So it is up to you. You are the CEO of a business. You are not the CEO of a program. You are the executive director of a business. You're not the executive director of a program. You are the president, right? In position, not the president of the organization or the business, and the president of the board. Those are two different roles. Please don't be surprised if your business is stuck because you don't know the business. If you go to any job, somebody's got to show you how to do the job if you've never done the job before. All right. Now, you don't have to call me. Find somebody that will tell you the truth. Find someone that will be straight up and tell you exactly what it is and can show you how to do it. All right, who can show you how to do that. That is what I do. I help thousands of organizations understand the business, not the passion for what they do, but the business. A business acumen will show you, how do I budget? How do I put together a plan? How do I articulate? How do I clarify what things cost? And who do I ask? How do I ask? The how to, right? That when we go into any job, again, if I go work at some special hamburger stand or a coffee stand, they're going to show me how to work the calculator, how to get the receipt, the how to's of the job. Many of you are missing the how to's. Jen, how do I fundraise? Jen, how do I articulate our impact? Jen, how do I put together the budget? Jen, how do I help and train and support our board so that they can help us raise money? The how to is what's missing of running the business. Now, y'all know how to run this program, but that program is nothing but an expense. It's an expense. There has to be a how-to of the business. The program doesn't raise money. The program does not meet with or articulate or clarify to the community. That's the business. The marketing, using your social media, building on your relationships, understanding how to communicate and impact and articulate to those that are not in the work that you do. That's how we raise money. Communication, clarification, showing and sharing what our vision is, what our mission is. Okay? It is not, Jen, I'm going to go down there. Jen, I started my nonprofit. I got my paper. I got my letter in the mail, Jen. I got my website. I got my board. I got my mother, my brother, my dog, my cat, my fish on my board, Jen. They don't know how to be board members. I don't know how to show them how to be board members. All we are passionate about is the program, but now we don't have any money. Why? Because you did not set up the systems, you did not set up the structure, you did not set up the plan and the process to generate money into the business. Money is not your problem. Money is a fruit. At the root of why there is no money in your nonprofit business. I don't have a plan to raise it. I don't know how to raise it. And when I filed that paperwork, I did not prioritize how to generate revenue. How do I know? Because on that 1023 form, it asks you, do you anticipate when you fill out that easy form, right? Y'all went to that easy form because it only costs $275 and you didn't want to pay the $600 for the full form, right? So the short form of the 1023 easy form says it only costs $275. Now, the only difference between the easy form and the full form is $325. But the easy form says that you do not anticipate bringing in more than $50,000 in gross annual receipts. I'm going to say that again. You do not anticipate bringing in more than $50,000 in gross annual receipt for 3 years. Year one, no, Jen, we're not going to bring in more than $50,000. Year two, no, Jen, we're not going to be bringing in more than $50,000. Nope. Year three, nope, Jen, we're not going to bring in more than $50,000. Do you guys know what that comes to? That comes to $4,167 per month that you are bringing in to operate and run the program. Well, of course, you don't have any money for salaries. Well, of course, you don't have any money to grow. Of course, you don't have any money to get help because you're not raising it. You started it by saying, nope, we don't need that much money, Jen. Which is why you're paying for everything out of your pocket. Gross annual receipts says what? Revenue. Now, my thing is this. Now, I could be wrong. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments what you think. That if you can raise 50,000, if you can raise 30,000, you can raise 40, you can raise 50, but are you paying for everything out of your pocket? Did you set it up? Did you start out the gate to pay for everything out of your pocket? Well, at what point is that going to change? At what point are you going to, how do you get out of that? Maybe that's the best way to put it. How do you get out of paying for everything out of your pocket, right? Because you're probably putting in what, $2,500 a month? Right? Your budget is probably less than $30,000. Now, all of a sudden, we're in year 4, 5, or 6, and I'm tired, Jen. I've been paying for everything out of my pocket. I've been paying for everything out of my pocket, Jen, for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 4 years more. Now I need a grant, Jen. I need a grant. Jen, I need a grant. And the grant funder has said, well, tell me about your business. Tell me about your financials. Tell me about your budget. Tell me where else money comes from. I don't have any person, Jen. I'm the only funder. I'm the only donor. I'm the only person, Jen. Now we don't have any other funders. Why? Every business, put every business in the comments. Every business has multiple streams of revenue. If you don't know the business, if you don't know what it takes to generate revenue for your business, is that money's fault? No, that's your knowledge's fault. That's you not knowing the job. I done started a whole business, but nobody showed me the business. I don't know the business, and so I'm not doing business. You're doing program, you're doing passion, but that ain't nothing but an expense. But through the business side, you are communicating, you are clarifying, you are articulating, you are demonstrating, you are showing that your business is good through your marketing, through your testimonial sharing, right? Listen, y'all. Many of you have been following me for a long time. Many of you have been listening to me, and I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the notes. I appreciate the emails. But money is not your problem. It's knowledge. Knowledge about the business, knowledge about what is a nonprofit business. The nonprofit is a category of business. Our business has a unique purpose, particularly the 501c3. Now, there are other forms of nonprofits. You have the 501c3, C4, C6, C7, right? Pick one. I don't care. Is one better than the other? No, if you don't know how to run it. No, no one is. Well, Jen, is it better to start a for-profit or a nonprofit? I want you to hear me. I don't care what you start. Do you know how to run it? I don't care what you start. Do you know how to run it? Do you know where revenue comes from so that you can operate it? If there is no revenue, that program can't exist, right? You run out of money, that program dies. That program dies. Why would you run out of money when you have a plan, when you have a strategy, when you have multiple streams of revenue? Money's not your problem. Knowledge is your problem. Now, listen, I am your nonprofit expert, over 38 years of experience. Next year coming up, honey, was going to be 39, and I'm not tired yet. But what I am determined to say is this: know the business. You started a business. You did not start a program. You did not start something regarding your passion. You started a business that has value in your community. You've got to be able to market, to show, to demonstrate, to clarify, and to generate the revenue to operate. We're not talking about profit. right? In the for-profit business, they're in the business for the profit. What is profit? Over and above what it costs to operate is profit. So it might cost 65 cents to operate the business, right? Creating the products, the marketing, all the things. And 35 cents is profit. What do they do with the profit? They take the profit, they distribute the profit between partners and shareholders. That's in the for-profit business. In the not-for-profit business, there's no profit. However, out of every dollar, 30 cents goes to operations, 70 cents goes to program. That's not profit. We need money to operate. It's work. It's not free. For those of you that say, Jen, I want to do a transitional house, Jen. I want to do a transitional house, Jen, where everything is free. I want them to come and live in my transitional house, Jen, for free, 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 free. For 2 years, Jen. I want them to be able to get themselves back up on their feet. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not free. Somebody's got to pay the light. Somebody's got to pay the utilities. Somebody's got to pay the maintenance. Somebody's got to pay the food care, the laundry services, all the things. Furnish it. That's not free. It's not free. This is another thing. I think a lot of people are introduced to the nonprofit from the outside, right? Jen, I went to a walk. Jen, I went down and handed out sandwiches at the food drive. Jen, I was a part of passing out hygiene kits. Jen, I did whatever. I handed out backpacks, Jen. I did whatever you did. From the outside, your engagement or your connection to the nonprofit may have been from a place that was free, right? But behind the doors of that nonprofit, in the C-suite, okay, of that nonprofit, there is money that is needed to operate. Now, you may not have seen that. Even as a board member or a volunteer, you don't see the workings of the business. Your and listen, don't let it be a ministry. God help us if it's a ministry, right? If it's a ministry, we need volunteers. We need people to come and volunteer. We need people to set up. We need people to tear down. We need people to give. We need people to donate, right? And so you may have an understanding that this is what the nonprofit space is. But even in ministry, there has to be money to keep the lights on, to keep the water on, to keep toilet tissue in the toilet. There's money that needs to be generated to keep the ministry going. It's not free. Nonprofit does not equal free. It's not free. There is a cost for the value of our work. There's nothing wrong with that. It's valuable. We provide a service, we provide a program, we provide result, we provide outcome that is important, that is relevant, that is significant to our community. 38 years ago, we weren't called nonprofits. We were called non-governmental organizations. We were called not-for-profit organizations. Many people today hear the word nonprofit and think free. Jen, I can get a salary? I didn't know I could get a salary, Jen. Jen, how am I supposed to support myself? Jen, is it okay that we get more than one grant? And I'm thinking, y'all don't know the business. You don't know the business. And the moment you wake up and said, you know what, I came to work in this establishment that you created, and no one showed me how to work the business. Go right now. Go apply at one of them hamburger places. Go apply to pass out coffee cups, hot chocolate. Go apply right now. Somebody's gonna have to show you how to do that job. This is where we set up the cups. This right here is where you get the refills. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. I don't know what it is about starting a nonprofit, and you think I can start a whole corporation and no one has showed me how to run this corporation. You think program is the corporation, and that's not the case. You did not start a program. You started a business. All right? You started a business. You have to know how to run the business, in order to attract, in order to inspire, in order to market, in order to clarify, in order to demonstrate to the people who are not in it, your donors, your funders, your partners, your collaborators, that they can trust your business with their resources. Now, if that's not important to you and you enjoy funding it all by yourself, that's your business. I don't have a dog in that fight. But for those of you that are screaming, I don't have any money, I don't have any money, I don't have any money, that's because you set it up to not generate revenue. Money's not a bad word. We all need it to operate. Our value is important. That's the key message. It's not about money. Money's not your problem. It's not about money. Until you don't make it about operating professionally and from a place of sustainability. Now you've made it about money. No, it's about value. It's about impact. It's about result. It's about why our work is important to the people, again, who are not in it. That's where our support comes. That's for every business now. I just want you to hear me. Every business gets their support from people outside the business. The person that wants the hamburger comes into the business because the person outside the restaurant wants the hamburger, right? The business is providing the hamburger. That's the value that the customer wants. Our donors, our funders, our supporters want our value. What's our value? Result, problem solved, solution that we bring to the community. Our donors, our funders, they see it as important. They see it as valuable. And so they support our business to continue to provide that product or that value. And that value is not your passion. Now, you can be passionate. I just wish somebody was more passionate about running the business, being true, being clear, being a steward of our customers' investment. All right. I know. Jen, did you have to say it like that? I did, because many of you won't hear me otherwise. I love you long time. I am your nonprofit expert. Okay. And I've done the work. I've worked in the nonprofit day to day for many, and none of them were mine. None of the organizations that I work with were mine. It became my job to help 1,000 organizations, both nationally and internationally, generate revenue for their nonprofits. I'm a professional fundraiser. I am a grant writer. I am a nonprofit strategist. Now, let me say this and be very clear. Do not get on my calendar to ask me to repeat what I just said. If you want to know about the business, get my nonprofit startup guide. Get my nonprofit startup guide, bit.ly/nonprofit startup guide. Okay? bit.ly/nonprofit startup guide. It is only $99 and it comes with a video that is 2 hours and 17 minutes on how to set up your business for revenue. Now, if you don't take talent, if you are curious as to why you don't have money, it's because you did not set up the business with the systems to generate the money. In the Nonprofit Startup Guide, everything that you need to know about the business that you started, not the program only, but the business. How do I fund it? How do I find donors? How do I get the first gift? And then how do I get the second gift? How do I find board members? How do I put together my budget? How do I put together a fundraising plan? How do I put together a strategic plan for the business? All of that and everything that you need to know is in the Nonprofit Startup Guide. There is nothing else out here like it. Okay? The Nonprofit Startup Guide, bit.ly/nonprofit startup guide. My team will put the link in the comments. Okay? You will be able to click the link and get the guide. That is going to be your best investment of being shown what to do and how to do it. Because again, many of you are trying to run a nonprofit and no one has shown you how to run it. So you're struggling. You're struggling. It's like you're at the machine and you got all these buttons, right? It's time for checkout. You got all these buttons and you don't know which button to push. You scared to push the wrong button. You're sitting there frozen. Like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to get to the total. I don't know how to print out the receipt. I don't know how to calculate all of these things. Why? because no one showed you. Not because you're not smart, not because you're not intelligent, not because you're not proficient, not because you're not all them things. No one showed you how to do the job. I am here as your nonprofit expert to show you how to do the job. For those of you that are on a limited budget, the Nonprofit Startup Guide is going to be your best friend. Your best friend. Okay? You started a business. If you go to work in any business, somebody's got to show you how to do the job. Your job is the executive director. Your job is the CEO. If no one has shown you that job, are you surprised? Are you really surprised that you don't know how to do that job? Why would you be surprised? You started a business. You have an EIN number. You have a business bank account. You are registered as a corporation or an LLC according to the IRS. That's not program. That has nothing to do with program. So can we be clear that when you made the decision to start a nonprofit, you did not start a program. You did not start something based on your passion. Okay? And it is because of lack of knowledge that 87 of you out of 100 are struggling. My nonprofit startup guide is your answer. I've done all the work for you. I did everything for you. I thought it through, and I even put scripts, I put templates, I put format, I put explanation. All you got to do is learn the job. All right. I am Jennifer. I am your nonprofit expert, over 38 years of experience helping organizations to start, to grow, and to sustain themselves. I love this work. And I'm always excited when I meet people like yourselves who are interested in not just starting, but growing and expanding your product, your impact, your solution, because the world needs our work. And in these coming days and months and years, our works, the need for our work is going to increase, not decrease. So I want you to be positioned. I want you to be ready, and I want you to know how to get funded. All right. Knowing the multiple streams of revenue and knowing how to get it is going to be your friend. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. And please comment below. Comment below what your thoughts, what were your ahas? Let me know what you think about this or what you would like for me to speak about in the next coming weeks or months when I come with you again, or I speak to you again. What would you like for me to talk about? Put it in the comments. I'll be happy to take those suggestions and recommendations under consideration. All right. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Thank you for your passion to impact change and result and leave a legacy of solution in your community. The work that we do is very important. And I'm here to share my 38 years of experience with you to help you to do it efficiently, effectively, and for sustainability. All right. Thank you all for joining in. I'll see you all next time.